Morning, people. We want to just talk about recovery from mental illness. Last week we took a look at the diagnosis, how to diagnose the mental disorders and mental illness. But today, how how they can be recovered from the mental illness and how we can help them out. Um, but we can take care of all of them today. So we want to just focus on what the well-being is. We have to know. We have to know what the well-being is, and then mental illness. Mental illness. Uh, Mental illness is that's against the well-being, right? When you got a mental illness, you can say that you have well-being. You have good life because with schizophrenia, depression, um, and anger, uh, management disorders, anxieties, um, those things make those things it a well-being. So then our lives can be quite different with um, the regular or well-being life. Um, so let's say you are somebody got diagnosis with schizophrenia, depression, anger, anxiety, those things, or stress. Stress, that's not diagnosis stuff, but that's one of the main factors for mental illness. Then we know what kind of mental illness uh, people have and how they can come back to well-being. For that, we have to know what the well-being is, and then how to recover from mental illness to well-being. That's the two main things we want to take care of today. Wellness is kind of a broad meaning. But the first, emotional well-being is coping effectively with life and creating satisfying relationships. Coping with uh, coping effectively with uh, with uh, life. Then you know we have many things. We have to face many troubles and issues. Like for example, my car stranded last week, and it's in the mechanic shop right now because I made some mistakes. Actually, two mistakes when I replaced the engine oil, and I, he found that um, the car ran. I mean, I drove the car without the oil, like 1 mile, and my engine is shaking a lot, and something else. And I just filled that up, and then ran 1,000 miles, but it stopped. That's a sad, cause that is a good car. I paid very little amount of money for that, but I did work on it for many many hours, and it used to run very well. Um, but I made mistakes. So, and then I got stressed. See, car problem. That can be happened, to our lives. If you drive brand new cars only for 3 or 5 years, maybe 2 years, you will not have any problem. But for example, you have a car problem. That happens in our lives, and that is one of them. And what about the traffic tickets? What about the, kind of a struggle or conflict in your working place? Okay? That's what happened. Those can happen to our lives, and how we can cope with those issues. But it says if coping effectively means when you got those triggers lots of stress. Okay, without car, well, fortunately, I got an extra car, so I'm driving my extra car. But what if you don't have extra car, but you have to pay for the rental cars, or even though your insurance company covered the rental cars, but in this case, my insurance company doesn't cover the rental cars because I didn't want it because I have extra cars. But then in those cases, some people got stressed and they drink. They got anger, and it can be affected to their families and friends, and co-workers maybe, or drinking or drugging, or you want to have another car, so you just steal other cars. We don't say those are effective way of solving those problems. So coping effectively means coping healthy way. Coping healthy ways, and coping right ways. Okay. If people take those things, it's gonna make things worse. Okay? Worse. But coping effectively with our life these ways, and then we're gonna be okay. It takes time and money, but it's gonna be okay, and we our mental not gonna be got shocked, or not gonna be go crazy in this way. So we'll be okay, and our friends will be okay, our family is okay, something like that. There are stresses. There are lots of stress, on those problems, but how we can solve those problems can make, a whole lot difference between these negative ways of solving or positive solvings. Okay. So well-being means coping effectively with life, And that is very important. And it makes our emotional well-being can be, enabled. And creating satisfying relationship. We can create lots of relationships with our, girlfriends, boyfriends, wives and husbands and kids, co-workers, neighbors. We can create whenever we go. We can, uh, you know, intentionally or unintentionally, we can create relationships. But what kind of relationships we can make? This one is saying for emotional well-being, we want to create satisfying relationships. Why one out of two couples are separating? We have a 50% of divorce rate in the United States. And in lots of countries, divorce rate is going up rather than going down. I think individualism and Western lifestyle, and well, there isn't, and then the people are selfish more than before. So people are creating unsatisfying relationship. They love each other and they get married and or they live together because they are satisfied with each other. But they can create unsatisfying relationship too. If you do something little or big, your spouse doesn't like it, or your spouse don't like, and then you got in trouble. You're gonna create unsatisfying relationship with your spouses. Okay, then you your emotional well-being gonna be broken down. That's apparent, right? That is very clear. So emotional wellness is quite important. And if we don't know what the well-being is, we don't know how to recover, the mental illness to well-being condition. Okay, the second one is environmental. Good health by occupying pleasant, stimulating environments that support well-being. Good health by occupying pleasant, stimulating environments that support well-being. So environmental well-being is, what if you have lots of smoke? Well, we got mountain fires. So one big one in Irvine, that's a Silverado fire, and it's still burning for last, I think, 4 or 5 days, and it burned more than 20,000 acres, and it burned some houses. And we have another wildfire, mountain fire in near Mission View. That's Shady Canyon, I think. There is another fire. So people evacuated from their houses. Well, and we have lots of smoke from the wildfire, and I got, there are ashes. There are literally big ashes are flying down from the sky because of, they flew. The wind just bring all kinds of ashes and smokes to our lives, and it's hard to breathe. We are supposed to do exercise at outside. Then, because we're gonna inhale more smoke into our lungs, and we're gonna just, get in trouble, the lung problem and breathing problems. Especially for the seniors and sick people, they cannot breathe well because of the smoke. Well, can we live, under that kind of a heavy smoke for 10, 20, a month, half a year, and a year, or years? Then we cannot say we have a well-being life, because we don't satisfy with those kind of heavy smoke. And people are dying, our neighbors are dying, we have to leave our houses. We are losing, and lots of people evacuated, and those people are losing, well-being because of the environment. What if you don't have clean water? Well, recently NASA found, a certain amount of water on the moon, so they're gonna build a space station there. Well, what if we don't have clean water? What if we have to walk 5 or 10 miles for getting fresh water? When you just turn the water tap, and you don't have fresh water, or you have to put, kind of heavy duty water purifier or something, then we cannot say we have a well-being life because of the environment. Okay? We want to have a nice what if you have a very noisy neighbor beside of your house? You are living in perfect place. You got fresh water, fresh air, all kind of nice natural sceneries, but noisy neighbor. I don't think you're gonna get well-being at all. Long time ago, like 15 or 16 years ago, I was living in a rental house with a nice huge backyard that was perfect for my kids and dogs. But my next door neighbor, they got a, what's that? People, a dog, and the dog barks whole night. The neighbors called police officers, police stations, and they warned the house, but the dog was barking. Finally, they had to get rid of the dog. I don't know what they did, but they had to get rid of the dog. Just listening the barking whole night, just over the wall, it's not happy. It's not pleasant at all. It's actually killing you. You cannot get nice, sleep. So you're gonna just spend the whole day, like a drunken man, kind of dizzy, and you cannot focus on your work. So environmentally, we wanna have a well-being life. Okay. And intellectual, recognizing creative abilities and finding ways to expand the knowledge and skills. Intellectual wellness, it's kind of new to people, okay? But we want to have intellectual well-being, so we want to just solve problems. What if 10 years old boy and he doesn't know how to count and he pays $10 for $1 chocolate bar and he's supposed to get $9 change from the market, but he pays $10 for $1 chocolate bar and just leave the market because he doesn't know how to count or something. What if you want to express what you think and feel verbally, but you don't know how to put it? You can talk, but you don't know how to put it, how to talk, how to express. You want to write something, but you don't know how to write, okay? You just read a book, but you don't understand it, even a cartoon book or something. It's gonna be very hard for the person. Well, the person can be okay, maybe. But what about his or her family members and friends and co-workers? I don't think those kind of people can work, regularly or right way or normal situations. But for example, retardation, they stop the mental growing. So they have 5 years old mental intellectual skill, even though those people are 20 years old or 30 years old. It's pretty harder for them and their families and friends and co-workers. Well, definitely they can work as much as they can, okay? 4 or 5 or 6 years old intellectual skills and level, it's okay for the simple work. But it's hard to expect good income for living. It's hard for them to have, um, you know, people they want to, they want to spend some time. For example, those kind of things we cannot say they have intellectual oneness. Well, I'm not saying when people have intellectual, when they don't have good enough intellectual abilities, like so they just stay like 5 years old mental level abilities. I'm not saying that they are not happy. They can be happy. Okay, but it's not okay if only they are happy, but others not happy. We don't have to make others people happy, but what if my family is not happy because of me? Okay, then then can I say I'm okay because I'm happy, but you are not happy because of me? I don't care. We cannot say that. Okay, so the intellectual awareness is quite important. We cannot ignore that. We cannot ignore that, right? So emotional awareness. What about somebody got depression, for example? Then when people got depression, they have kind of emotionally, it's like gloomy weather. Okay. So they are not happy. So they are feeling something wrong, and they are feeling like somebody pressing them down. It's feeling really bad, and that is against the emotional well-being, right? Right. So those wellness is quite important. What about the physical wellness? Recognizing the need for physical activity, a diet, sleep, and nutrition. Physical wellness is important. When you got hurt, actually recently I got left hand pinky problem. I think muscle got, you know, has something problem or got damaged because of I just used this pinky when I grab a stick for working out, for doing this and that. So my pinky muscle got, problem, I think, from here to somewhere here. So when I bend and stretch and I feel something, there's something. It's kind of a simple. When you don't know that you have a liver. You don't know. You don't just notice. You don't just think or feel always 24 hours a day that you have a liver. No, we don't even think about it, and we don't feel any until you have a liver problem. You you don't think that you don't have to keep on thinking that, oh, I have a stomach for 24 hours, and you feel, yes, I have a stomach, because the stomach is there, but your stomach is okay. But what if your stomach got problem and you feel, oh, my stomach has problem or something, because you feel that is there. Your stomach is there, and because your stomach got problem. Physically, when you have damage or problems, you feel bad. Okay, because I have a pinky problem, I have to be careful whenever I grab something and hold something. I'm trying not to grab too much with my pinky. So when I grab something, I try to let pinky free and just grab with other four fingers, and it's not. It doesn't make a strong grip at all. How that pinky is important. Okay, all fingers are important, but the pinky is important too. Okay, but the little thing makes big difference when I grab something. I used to do candle, and it is very nice and fun. It is hard work, but doing candle was very exciting. I didn't have many chance to use the real sword, but I noticed that real sword, kind of a big sword, is pretty heavy. And I noticed that it is impossible to, just cut something with a sword with by one hand. It's pretty heavy. Once you cut something with your hand, with your one hand, you're gonna go this way. You know? Well, I don't know how much power people have at the movies or in the real world. Literally, it's hard to cut something with your the sword cutting by one hand. So you wanna just grab a sword with your two hands, and the pinky is very important. You wanna just close and close it so it's not gonna slip this way. So you wanna close it, and you wanna just press the end of the sword with your pinky. That's very crucial. And then my pinky got a problem. I don't play kendo anymore, but I still have wooden sword and bamboo sticks too. But physically, when we got something wrong on our legs and hands and ears and eyes and lips and whatever it is, little or big, physical wellness is kind of getting far from the normal condition. Okay, diet, eating is important. Okay, what if you can't eat? I couldn't eat the hard food, and I had to eat the porridge or soup for like 10 days because I had a TMJ problem. So this diet, if you can't chew anything except the soup. You cannot say, "Oh, I have everything," because I'm only drinking soups. No. If you don't sleep enough, you better sleep enough, like 7 hours or 8 hours, hopefully. Then it's hard to focus on reading and writing or something, work. Nutrition is important. You eat lots of things, but you don't have good enough nutrition. So you have good stuff. I mean, good amount of stuff in your stomach, but you think about it. You have right enough nutrition from your food, because lots of junk foods they don't have nutrition. Okay? Occupational wellness is this personal satisfaction and enrichment derived from one's work. You have a job, you work on it, and you are satisfied with it. You have occupational wellness. You work 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week, and you satisfied with your work, and you have occupational wellness. But what if you just work as the president of the United States? Let's say the presidential election is right on the corner next week. You just serve United States as the president, but you don't satisfy with your work, and your occupational wellness is kind of negative, right? The level is pretty low. So it doesn't matter what kind of work you have, but your satisfaction, how much you are satisfied with your work. As a sculptor or as musicians, like a piano players or teachers, whatever job you have, you are not satisfied with your job, then what? Then you will not be happy. So your occupational wellness is quite low, right? Well, a friend I know, he majored in metal. I don't know what kind of major was it, but he was in kind of tech department in his college life, but he just left his school, and he just tried to have another SAT, something like SAT, and finally he got in medical school. Now he's happy. Well, we can change our majors, and we can change our dream jobs. It doesn't matter. We have lots of salaries or not, but we have to satisfy it. I know some medical doctors who just left the hospital and became musicians, like singers and music instrument players. Who's gonna get more money? Even though they cannot be successful in the music or singers, musicians, it doesn't matter for them, because medical work for them doesn't satisfy them. Okay? So occupational wellness means you like the work and you are satisfied with it and you are happy with it. Okay? And you feel you are enriched from your work. What about the financial? You work a lot, but you get less salary, little salaries, and you don't have enough money for your hobbies and travels and nice food you like. Can you satisfy with the financial status of what you have? So financial wellness is important too. But so people are working hard for money because they have to pay mortgage or rent, food, cars, insurance, and kids, families, and clothes, bags. But they don't have money. That's kind of sad, right? So financial wellness is important in these centuries. But you know what? I know some rich people. They are not super rich, but they are rich people in the United States and in Korea. I know some rich people. They have lots of money. They don't have to worry about their money. But they do. They do worry about their money. Okay? Financial wellness is not limited it's not limited to the poor people, the regular kind of low class people. But it matters to the rich people too. Bill Gates, I don't know. I don't think he has a jet plane. I don't know. But he used to use economy when he had to fly to other places for his business. How humble he is. It's hard to be like that. Pastor in Texas was somewhere in Texas. He just asked a jet plane to his church for mission something, and that is declined. And finally, he got the jet from his church, saying he has to fly to all of the places for the mission. when you are living in the United States, it's hard to find that you cannot go with by plane. There are lots of airplane companies in the United States. They are flying from the United States to almost everywhere. Do you need a jet? I don't think the pastor needs a jet plane for evangelism or mission thingy. But his last name is Dollar, I think. Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, and lots of rich people just decided to donate their assets, like 90% or 100% to the society. I don't know. I think they satisfied with their financial status. So financial awareness doesn't not mean uh, it matters not only for poor people but rich people too. Also, I mean, so financial awareness is quite important. If you don't have money for food for your families, and you're gonna be vulnerable. You're gonna get in trouble because you wanna, as bread owners, if you are bread owners, you wanna just feed your family members. What if you don't have money for rent or mortgage? You're gonna be kicked out. Well, America will have a big problem because of the coronavirus. The economy went down, steeply, and lots of people, can't pay the mortgages. So next year, sometimes like January, February, I don't know when it comes, but as soon as the government, um, just set the date, the mortgage companies cannot um, evacuate those tenants or um, mortgage, people who couldn't pay the mortgage for many, like several um, months and months, they're gonna be kicked out. And they're gonna kick out the tenants, and the mortgage companies will evacuate the homeowners, and then we will have lots of people have to leave their houses. They're gonna have financial hardships because of those problems. So coronavirus, this pandemic, produce lots of miserable things like those. So next year, 2021, I think America, our country, will face huge problem. What about the social awareness? Developing a sense of connection, belonging, and a well-developed support system. So for the social awareness, you cannot live alone. If you want, you can. If you can do that, you want to do that, and you can do that too, and without any problems. But somehow people need relationships. Okay? I like this. That's people in Chinese. Okay, that which means one people and other people are uh, living together. It's like ugly. So in is one people and two people just lean together against each other, and then they live together. They need people. What if these people is gone and the people gonna fail, and the same to this person too? Which means we have to live together and work together and help together so we can live well. But what if we don't have kind of a healthy and close relationship with others? We'll be in trouble because emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and we're gonna be lonely. We're gonna be lonely, right? So we need friends, we need neighbors, we need relationships. Okay. So for the social wellness, we need to develop a sense of connection. We are connected and belonging. I belong to a club. So lots of people have belonging to clubs they like. I'm a member of uh, Bandsword.com because I have a kind of old Mercedes. It's kind of cheap, but it's kind of old. So we just share our problems and we just talk and we got some information from each other, something like that. So social wellness is quite important. We want to just we want to just develop the support system. When you got in trouble, you have somebody to call for help. Okay, you have something to talk. You need some advice from other people who know something the problem well. Then we need people. We need a social wellness. But the Keynes said we are lonely in a crowd. There are lots of people surrounding us, but we don't have any people we can pour our whole heart to. So then we have something in here. We cannot just bring it out for help, for advice, or just saying. Speaking out means we are spelling out our words and we are spelling out our energy and something in here. So people just scream out when they got too much stress. That means we want to just put the kind of a toxic energy out or pour out of our body. Okay, that's why people scream. Spiritual wellness, that is a huge part. Expanding our sense of purpose and meaning of life. What the meaning of life? We cannot solve that kind of a question, answer to the question without knowing who we are. How we can know who we are. Okay. So our moms and parents gave birth us miraculous way. Okay. Well, that's natural, but no, it's kind of wondering how I could get picked or how I could get rich. My mother's lots of sperms just swept away by numerous reasons. But I'm here. It's a miraculous way. But it doesn't solve the problem, and it doesn't give us the best answer that to the question, who am I? What's gonna be after this life? Where we want to go after this life? What we are living for? Is it meaningful? What kind of meaning of, in our lives? Well, Christians know why. Christians are believing that God created us for a reason. Okay. Even though He borrowed our parents for creating me, but He created us because there is no same people on this earth at all. It never happened at all. Okay. We all are different. How? How? But we are believing that God created us, one of each, for reasons. So we are that important. We are that precious to God, the Creator. Okay? So we are not just happenings. We are not just happenings. Okay? Something happened with no reason. Okay? No. We are something. We are somebody. We are not nobody. Because God, the Creator, made us. That's what Christians are believing. The meaning of our lives, our meaning of our lives is for glorifying the Creator and, for making our lives happy. Okay? We want to sacrifice our body and mind and money for somebody else, but if you like it and if you get extreme happiness by sacrificing yourself, you can do that, and people are doing that too. But it depends on what kind of people and who you are. Okay. So it's kind of hard to say. It's kind of impossible to explain who you are and what's the meaning of your life. But the Christians can get right answers from God. Okay. So spiritual oneness is very important. A holistic guide to whole person wellness. All right. Now we know how to the diagnosis or what kind of mental illness there are, and we just learned what kind of mental illness and how to diagnose it, and we know what the well-being is. Then how can be recovered, how people can be recovered from mental illness to well-being. Okay. Well, wellness means overall well-being, yes. For people with mental health and substance use conditions, wellness is not simply the absence of disease, illness, or stress. Yes. So you have a depression. So when you can get rid of the depression from you, so you have a well-being and you have a wellness right now. It's not that simple. But the presence of purpose in life, the purpose in your life, active involvement in satisfying work and play. So you know what the purpose of your life. You can know by yourselves, but Christians know by believing God, because they can know the purpose of their lives from God. Okay? And active involvement in satisfying work and play, and you have fun from your working, and you are satisfied with from your work because you like your work, like your job, and you get money from your job, and you're happy, you're satisfied. You play golf, soccer, baseball. Oh, the Dodgers won the World Series, against the Tampa Bay. Though I was expecting that. I was hoping that, and I just supported the Dodgers, and Dodgers made it. But at the same time, I just wanted Jiman Choi in Tampa Bay shows great work, and he did a good job too as a first baseman and as a nice player though. All right. So people play soccer, football, ping pong, badminton. You know, because they can get lots of happiness and satisfied with those activities. And what about joyful relationships? Yeah, you love your wife loves you. I mean, you love your kids, and kids love you. Joyful relationships. You have friends you can talk with. It doesn't matter. You just talk this, kind of cheap things on cheap topics or on heavy stuff like relations. A healthy body and living environment. You have good health. Okay, your body is strong and healthy, and you are living in a nice environment, nice neighbors, fresh air, fresh water, okay, clean, and happiness. And happiness. You have everything and you are happy, that's perfect. You have everything, you have lots of money, you have all good high-end stuff, but you are not happy at all. Sorry. The former president, Myung-Bak Lee, he got sentenced to 17 years because he got lots of money from companies and people. But nobody knows why, how much money he cheated from the government, from the country. I think the people have to find all the money, even a penny, what he cheated, and the government has to collect all the money out of him. As people are believing he saved lots of money in here and there. And I believe so too. And he got only 17 years sentenced, but he has to, he has to get his money back to the country, because that's not his money. That's the money he cheated. It's like a rat. He has lots of money. He's living in a nice house. but he has to live, 17 years in the prison. I think he has to finish. I'm hoping and praying for his health so he can finish his 17 years in the prison. Well, because he deserves it. That's what justice. That's what justice. It incorporates the mental, emotional, physical, occupational, intellectual, and spiritual aspects of a person's life. Yes. Yes. Each aspect of wellness can affect overall quality of life. Right. You got a physical problem, and your emotional wellness is gonna go bad. Your spiritual wellness can go wrong too. Okay? If you have an emotional problem, you cannot focus on your work. Financial wellness can be affected by that. Because you are melancholy, you cannot focus on your work. No wellness from your occupation. Okay? Because you don't know who you are, and you lost God as Christians, and making money, emotional wellness, all things can be crooked and go wrong because you don't know who you are, you don't know why you are living and what you are living for. Working doesn't make sense to you. There is no meaning that you work hard, you write, you read. Those things, those activities, you play football, those things, those activities doesn't make sense to you at all because you don't know who you are, what you're working for, living for. Okay? So that's the holistic guide. Well, you can have a physical problem, but it doesn't mean that you're gonna get depression. I'm not saying that. Some people are strong mentally, spiritually, so even the Nick Vujicic, he doesn't have any two arms and two legs, but he's doing a great job. Well, but those are things are happening to you and in you, so you can be vulnerable once you lose the one of the wellness. Okay, because that is happening to you, happening in you, happening around you. Okay, so the holistic approach, holistic guide to whole person wellness, that is important. Oh, you lost your leg, but you'll be okay mentally, emotionally. It doesn't make sense. Building resilience and maintaining wellness. Being resilient means that is important. Being resilient means a person is able to cope with the challenges. Okay, I got a problem. I got a pinky problem. Okay, I can overcome it. All right, I just failed on a test. Okay, but I'm gonna just challenge it again. That's great. That's great. If you can do it, you have resilience. we need resilience. We need to be rigid, okay, for overcoming our problems. Okay, don't run away from it. Maybe sometimes we need to run away from those things. You know, if we have to for the better life, but we need to be resilient. Cope with challenges, trauma, yes. Lots of people have a PTSD, but some people are resilient, so they trying to cope with that, and they are making it. Okay, they are just coming back to their normal lives from their traumas. Threats. We have lots of threats actually. We think, and we have lots of worries too. We worry our marital relationships. We worry the relationship with our kids. We worry our future. We worry so many things. But how we can be resilient so we can cope with those stuff we are facing to. That is the main thing. That is quite important. Getting help from mental health conditions can improve one's ability to take other steps to build resilience. Yes. When you got depression, for example, you can be resilient. It's pretty hard. I'm not saying that you got depression because you're not resilient enough. Well, it can be, right? But it doesn't necessary. I mean, you can be resilient, but you can get depression because of many things, right? But those are those are related closely though, right? So how we can be resilient to many things. We need to recover from mental illness, okay, mental weakness or mental illness. We need to overcome it so we can be resilient to many other things too. Okay. To strengthen resilience, people need to. So how to strengthen resilience, we need to do what? Build connections with families and friends. When people lose their families, they can be vulnerable. Well, sometimes, in some cases, they have to leave their wives and husbands so they can be resilient, so they can be happy. Okay. What if your husband beats you every day? I mean, recently, Vietnamese husband shoot his wife's boyfriends or guy friends in the market. I mean, his wife left him and tried to leave him because he beat her often and threatened her often. In that case, I think she has to leave him. I'm not sure what happened exactly, but I could just recommend her to contact lawyers and DV advocates and lawyers and other friends, but she just asked if help to her friends, and that was not safe enough. Was not safe enough. Build a connection with families and friends, but normally, in general, we want to just have strong relationships with our families and friends, so we can not be full, right? If we have a friend, we're not gonna fall. We're not gonna be. I mean, so when you see ropes, there is one string, two string, three string. Okay, it can hold something great. But what if you twist those three strings, one, two, three, and pull? Which string can pull more? Which string is stronger? Definitely this. So when we buy ropes, it is twisted with many threads. See, that's the connection. For the resilience, we need to accept that change is a part of living. Things are changing. We are changing. We have to accept the changes. Technologies are changing a lot. Way of living is changing a lot. Our culture is changing because of the COVID-19. Okay? Social distance, wearing masks. Some stupid Americans, I was in a meeting and some stupid Americans were wearing, but whenever they want to speak something, they just wear it off. Why we need to wear masks? Because we want to just, spread our virus out of our body. It can, it can be harm to other people. So that's what we are wearing. But they have to say, they just wear it off and speak and close it. They don't know what the science is. They don't understand what the virus is. They don't, even though they understand that, they are selfish. They ignore others' health. That was a really stupid experience for me. We have to understand why we have to wear masks. So wearing masks is way better than taking vaccines. At this point, hopefully we're gonna have a better vaccines and kind of perfect vaccine we can take. So we don't have to wear masks at all later on. Hopefully, I don't know. It'll take another year or 2 years. But that's why we are desperately waiting for masks. So things are changing a lot. Some goals may no longer be attainable as a result of changing situations. We cannot change sometimes. Yes, we can change. Then change it. Try to change it. To change to the better way, or we cannot change. We have to accept it, right? Because we don't have resources, or that is what we can do. Then we have to accept it. Okay, that is happening. Wow, yeah. Reach out to help others. Yes, we need people's help. We need, help from computers. We need help from the nature. Develop realistic goals and take small, regular steps toward them. Okay? Help others. When a student is learning mathematics, they there are lots of those levels. So mathematics or algebra or I don't know more than that. Okay, that's the higher level. When you just solve those problems, right? But it is hard to maybe you can solve half of them, and you're gonna just go down and go up and go down, go up until you can solve those problems. Okay, and you reach this level. But it's gonna be hard to solve those problems, and you can just stay there and work on it and solve it, work on it, solve it, work on it, solve it, and finally you're gonna reach this level. So we can go up one by one, not all at once, because it doesn't happen that way. Until you are not a unless you are mathematics genius, because it doesn't happen that way. So it takes time, it takes efforts, and you want to just try step by step. Okay, look for growth in loss, nurture a positive view of yourself. I'm not saying that you are wrong, but you think you are right. No, I'm not saying that. But be positive to yourself. Just encourage yourself that you can do it, you can challenge it, you can accept it, the impossibles, but you want to just try a little bit more and more, and then you can grow. Trust instincts too. That's kind of weird, but well, I'm not saying that if you think B is the answer and don't change your answer to C. Well, trust instincts means that we have instincts, and just trust it. Sometimes we need to trust it. A or B, this way or that way. You want to just trust your instincts sometimes. That works. That helps too. But you can fail also, right? Take care of themselves. They cannot help others if they are unwell themselves. So we want to just help the vulnerable people, the homeless. We cannot say or blame the homeless people because you don't work, because they want to work but they don't have jobs. They want to work but they are sick. They want to work but they are limited. They are limited by us. They are limited by this society. They are limited by this government too. But they are limited by, the limitation can be from themselves too. So if we can help them, we want to just help them. Boost mental health by remembering that the mind and body are connected. Yes. Eat right, it can help your emotions, it can help your spirit too. Eat right. Don't eat processed meat. It's gonna kill you. Well, I ate it 2 days ago. I regret it, but it was delicious. So, do exercise. Make your body strong. Get enough sleep. Don't get dizzy. Don't get Don't be dizzy that way. And take care of health problems promptly. You got a problem here or there, don't wait long, and just try to take care of it right away, and avoid alcohol and other drugs. Those are provided by APA, American Psychology Association. Avoid alcohol and other drugs. Those are gonna ruin your life. Those are gonna ruin your family's life too. I met a guy a couple of times. He's alcoholic. His wife is beautiful, very elegant, very very nice person. Their kids are pretty smart, pretty and smart. He has lots of money, but he's alcoholic. He's ruining his families. I don't know how long his life can be with him. It's hard to do that. Literally, he's drugs a day. Can you live with those kind of person? I can. Alright, so think about how to get out of mental illness, out of mental illness to the well-being. So because we wanna have a well-being life. It can be reachable by doing those stuff as much as we can achieve those things. So living well, wellness is very important. So and then we want to just take care of other stuff.